She called the police during an argument. I want him removed. He's trespassing. She smirked as the squad car pulled up. I sat on the couch. The sergeant walked in, looked at her, then looked at me. He didn't handcuff me. He hugged me and said, "Hey, Dad, is she bothering you?" Her face when she realized my son is the patrol sergeant. Here's what nobody tells you about retirement. You get bored. Really bored. So when Carol walked into the hardware store where I was buying cabinet hinges last April and she smiled at me while reaching for paint samples, I thought, why not? I'm 58. Retired police detective. 28 years on the force before my knees and the department psychologist both told me it was time. Bought my house in '98, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, quiet street. Mortgage paid off in 2019. My name on the deed? Just mine. Carol's 46, works as a dental office manager. Divorced 3 years, 2 kids, both grown and moved out of state. When we started dating, she seemed normal, stable. We'd meet for dinner, go to movies, take weekend trips to the lake. Easy, comfortable. 6 months in, her landlord sold her apartment building. New owners doubled the rent. She was scrambling to find a place. I had 3 bedrooms and I was using one as an office and one for storage. Move in, I said. Temporarily, until you find something. She looked relieved. Really? I could pay you rent, whatever's fair. $400 a month, covers utilities. She moved in July 2023. Brought her furniture, her dishes, her ridiculous collection of throw pillows. I helped her unpack. Seemed fine. August was fine. September was fine. October was when things shifted. We should repaint the living room, she said one evening. This beige is so dated. I looked at the walls. I like beige. It's neutral. Exactly. It's boring. We should do something bold. Like teal. Or maybe terracotta. I'm not repainting, she frowned. Why not? It's our home. It's my house, and I like it how it is. Our home, she repeated. I live here too. You're renting a room, Carol. Her face went tight. She didn't speak to me for 2 days. November. We need new furniture. This couch is ancient. The couch was 7 years old. Leather. Comfortable. Paid $2,400 for it. The couch is fine. It's ugly, and it doesn't match anything. We should get a sectional. I saw one at Ashley Furniture for $3,800. I'm not spending $4,000 on a couch. We could split it. I already have a couch. You're being stubborn. I'm being practical. Another silent treatment, 3 days this time. December. I want to host Christmas here, for my kids and their families. Your kids are in Oregon and Texas. They could fly in. I haven't seen them in a year. This house is perfect for hosting. No. What do you mean no? I mean, I'm not hosting Christmas. I'm going to Jake's like I do every year. Jake's my son. 32. Started as a beat cop at 22, made detective at 26, made sergeant at 29. Now he's a patrol sergeant, supervises the evening shift, rides along in a patrol car to oversee his officers. Smart kid. We have Christmas at his place with his wife and my 2 grandkids. You could skip 1 year, Carol said. I could, but I won't. She called her kids anyway, made plans, bought decorations, put up a tree in my living room without asking. I took the tree down. She put it back up. I took it down again. Why are you being such an asshole? She screamed. Because this is my house. I didn't agree to any of this. I live here. You rent a room here. It's the same thing. No, Carol, it's not. Her kids didn't come for Christmas. She blamed me, said I ruined her holiday. Spent Christmas Day crying on the couch, sending passive-aggressive texts to her friends about how her boyfriend was emotionally abusive. I went to Jake's, had a nice time, came home to Carol giving me the silent treatment. Day 6, new record. January, I'm redecorating the bedroom. No, you're not. Yes, I am. I ordered new curtains and a duvet and throw pillows. With whose money? Mine. It's my bedroom too. Return them. No. The packages arrived. I refused to accept them. FedEx took them back. She screamed at me for 20 minutes, called me controlling, said I was trying to erase her from the house, said she felt like a guest, not a partner. You are a guest, I said. Wrong thing to say. February brought the real escalation. I want to redo the kitchen, she announced. Handed me a folder, paint swatches, cabinet hardware, backsplash tiles, a quote from a contractor, $28,000. Absolutely not. This kitchen is from the 90s. It's from 2003. I renovated it myself. It needs updating. No. We could split the cost. I'll pay 14, you pay 14. Carol, I'm not remodeling my kitchen. Why are you like this? Why do you hate change? I don't hate change. I hate spending 30 grand to fix something that's not broken. You're being unreasonable. I'm being financially responsible. You're being cheap and selfish. This is my home too. No, it's my house. You pay $400 a month to rent a room. You want design control. Buy your own place. She stared at me. You're kicking me out? I'm reminding you what our arrangement is. So I'm just, what, a tenant to you after everything? After 6 months of dating and 7 months of you living here? Yes. You're a tenant. That's not how I see our relationship. That's the reality of our situation. She left, slammed the door, drove off, came back 3 hours later. We need to talk. Okay. I've been doing some research. In this state, if you cohabit with someone for more than 6 months, they have tenancy rights. You can't just kick me out. I'm not kicking you out. But I also have rights to request reasonable modifications to my living space. No, you don't. This isn't your living space. It's mine. You rent a room. I'll take you to court. For what? Tenant rights, hostile living environment, emotional distress. I laughed. Couldn't help it. You think that's funny? I think you're delusional. I'll call the police. And tell them what? That your landlord won't let you remodel his kitchen? That you're creating an unsafe living situation? That I feel threatened. I've never threatened you. That's not how I feel. Carol, go ahead. Call the cops. Tell them your landlord said no to your kitchen remodel. See what happens. She didn't call. Not that day. March 8th, Friday. I got home from the gym around 4 p.m. Carol was home early, sitting in the living room with a laptop and papers everywhere. What's all this? I'm documenting everything for my lawyer. Your lawyer? I've retained counsel for the hostile living situation. You hired a lawyer because I won't remodel the kitchen? Because you're trying to force me out of my home. Your home? Carol, you've lived here 8 months. You pay $400 a month. I pay the mortgage, which is actually already paid off. Property taxes, insurance, maintenance, everything. This is my house. I'll let the court decide that. There's nothing to decide. My name is on the deed. Sole owner. We'll see. Fine. Let her waste money on a lawyer. March 15th, a week later. I get home from lunch with Jake. Carol's car is in the driveway, so is an unfamiliar Honda. I walk in. Carol's at the dining table with a woman in a business suit. Papers everywhere. Who's this? The woman stands. Jennifer Hartley. I'm Miss Reynolds' attorney. Her attorney for what? For establishing her tenancy rights and pursuing legal remedies for the hostile environment you've created. I looked at Carol. You brought your lawyer to my house? I have a right to legal counsel. Not in my dining room, you don't. Miss Hartley, you need to leave. I'm here at Miss Reynolds' invitation. Miss Reynolds doesn't have the authority to invite people to my house. This is private property. You're trespassing. That's a matter of... It's not a matter of anything. Get out. She gathered her papers. Mr. Brennan, you'll be hearing from us. Looking forward to it. She left. Carol stayed seated. That was embarrassing, Carol said. You brought a lawyer to my house. I have rights. You have the right to find a new place to live. You can't evict me without proper notice. 30 days. I'm giving you 30 days. Get out of my house. Her face went red. You can't do this. Watch me. 30 days. I'll have the written notice ready tomorrow. You're making a huge mistake. The mistake was letting you move in. She stood up, started pacing. You're going to regret this. I doubt it. I'll make sure everyone knows what kind of man you are. I'll tell everyone you're abusive. I've never laid a hand on you. Emotional abuse is still abuse. Good luck proving that. You're going to be sorry. She stormed off to the bedroom, slammed the door. I went to my office, drafted a 30-day notice to vacate, printed it, dated it March 15th, 2024, slid it under her bedroom door, March 22nd, 1 week into the 30-day notice. I'm in the living room watching the Knicks game. Carol comes out of her room, dressed up, full makeup. Where are you going? Out. With who? None of your business. You live in my house. It's my business. Not for much longer. She left, came back at 1 a.m. I was in bed, heard her come in, heard her on the phone, heard her crying. Next morning she was cold, wouldn't speak. Fine by me. March 28th. Saturday, I'm doing yard work. Carol comes outside. I'm not leaving. I keep raking leaves. Yes, you are. You have until April 14th. I consulted with my lawyer. You haven't followed proper eviction procedures. I gave you written notice. You need to file with the court. and you need just cause. Non-payment isn't cause enough? I've paid every month. Fine. Then I'm terminating your month-to-month tenancy. That's allowed? 30 days notice, which I gave you. My lawyer says you need 60 days in this state. I stopped raking. Looked at her. Carol, I've been a cop for 28 years. I know the law. You've been here less than a year. 30 days is sufficient. I'll fight this. You'll lose. We'll see. April 2nd. 12 days left on her notice. I come home from the hardware store. Carol's sitting at the kitchen table with papers. What's that? I filed a restraining order request. For what? Threatening behavior, verbal abuse, creating an unsafe environment. I've never threatened you. That's not how I perceive it. Your perception doesn't matter. Facts matter. The judge will decide. When's the hearing? April 9th. I'll be there. She smiled. You should bring a lawyer. I don't need a lawyer to defend against made-up bullshit. Her smile got bigger. We'll see. April 9th. Courthouse, 2 p.m. I show up in khakis and a button-down. Carol's there with her lawyer, Jennifer Hartley. The judge listens to Carol's testimony. She cries. Says she's terrified of me. Says I've threatened to throw her out with no notice. Says I've isolated her from her support system. Says I've financially abused her by refusing to let her make basic improvements to her living space. It's complete fiction, but she's selling it well. Judge asks if I have representation. No, Your Honor. I can speak for myself. Judge asks my side. I explain. We dated. She moved in temporarily, started making demands, wanted to remodel my house. Wanted me to spend tens of thousands of dollars. When I said no, she claimed abuse. I gave her proper notice to vacate. She's retaliating. Judge asks for evidence. I have the lease agreement. Month to month, $400. Her signature. I have the 30-day notice. Dated, signed, copy delivered to her. I have the quote from the contractor. $28,000. Her handwriting all over it. Judge looks at Carol. Miss Reynolds, this appears to be a landlord-tenant dispute, not a domestic violence situation. He's been verbally abusive, Your Honor. He makes me feel unsafe. Has he threatened you? He threatened to throw me out. He gave you legal notice to vacate. That's not a threat. That's his right as a property owner. But, motion denied. You have until April 14th to vacate, as stated in the notice. Carol's face went pale. Jennifer whispered something to her. Your Honor, my client needs more time. She's had nearly 30 days. Motion denied. We left. Carol wouldn't look at me. Got in her car, drove off. I went home. She wasn't there. April 12th. 2 days left. Carol's stuff is still in the bedroom. She's been staying somewhere else, but her things are still here. I text her. You have 2 days. If your belongings aren't out by 11:59 p.m. on the 14th, they'll be considered abandoned. She doesn't respond. April 14th, moving day, 8 a.m. Carol shows up with a U-Haul and 2 guys. I stay out of the way. Let them pack. Watch to make sure they only take her stuff. Noon, everything's loaded. Carol hands me her key. You're gonna regret this, she says. I really don't think so. I'm not done. Yes, you are. She drives off. The U-Haul follows. I change the locks. All of them. Front door, back door, side gate. Clean out her room. Vacuum, dust, wash the windows. Feels good to have my space back. April 20th. 6 days after she moved out, I'm grilling on the back patio, beer in hand, chicken on the grill, peaceful. Doorbell rings, I answer. It's Carol, and she's with 2 police officers. Can I help you? I ask. One officer steps forward. Sir, are you Michael Brennan? That's me. We received a call about a domestic dispute. I look at Carol. She's standing behind the officers, smirking. There's no domestic dispute. We're not together. She doesn't live here. Sir, the caller states that you've changed the locks and won't let her access her belongings. Because she moved out 6 days ago, took everything, even returned her key. Carol speaks up. That's not true. I didn't take everything. My jewelry is still inside, and my grandmother's china and some important documents. I stare at her. Your jewelry left with you. You packed it yourself. I watched you. I want to go inside and check. An officer. Sir, if there's property inside that belongs to her, there isn't. She took everything. This is harassment. Carol's smirk gets bigger. I know my rights. I was a tenant. I'm allowed to retrieve my belongings. You forfeited that right when you abandoned everything past the deadline. I didn't abandon anything. My jewelry is in the master bedroom closet. There's nothing in the master bedroom closet except my stuff. Officer, sir, to avoid any further dispute, would you mind if we just take a quick look? I absolutely mind. This is my private property. She's trespassing. I want her removed. I'm not trespassing. I lived here for 8 months. This is my home. You rented a room, and you were legally evicted. You don't live here anymore. Ma'am, do you have any proof you lived here? Carol fumbles with her phone. I have photos and mail, and I paid rent. For a room, not the house. The lease was month to month. She gave me her key back. She's trying to get back inside to cause trouble. That's not true. He's lying. I have things inside. The officer looks tired. Sir, do you have the lease agreement? I do. 1 second. I go to my office, grab the file, bring it back, hand it to the officer. He reads it. Month-to-month tenancy. Terminated with proper notice. Ma'am, according to this, you don't live here anymore. Carol's face goes red. But my jewelry. Ma'am, if you believe property was left behind, you'll need to pursue that through civil court. But he won't let me in, because he doesn't have to. This is his private residence. You're not a tenant anymore. This is bullshit. I want him removed. He's the one who should leave. I was here first. I can't help it. I laugh. You were here first? I've owned this house since 1998. You moved in July 2023. That's not, I meant. Officer, ma'am, I'm going to need you to step away from the residence. No, I have rights. I want him removed. He's trespassing. The other officer, who's been silent, finally speaks. Ma'am, he owns the house. He can't trespass on his own property. Then I want him arrested for stealing my jewelry. Do you have proof the jewelry is inside? It has to be. I left it there, but you don't see it right now. He probably moved it. Officer to me, sir, do you have any jewelry belonging to this woman? I don't. She took everything when she moved out. I watched her pack. She had movers. They cleaned out the entire bedroom. Carol screams, you're a liar. Ma'am, please calm down. I will not calm down. This is my home. I want him removed. He's trespassing. Get him out of here. Arrest him. She's smirking now. Thinks she's won. Thinks the cops will haul me away. I walk past them. Go sit on the couch. Calm. Not worried. This is when I notice the squad car, and I recognize it. The unit number on the side, 247. Jake supervises this unit. It's one of his officers on shift tonight. The officer in charge looks at his radio. Dispatch, we have a 1010 at... The passenger door of the squad car opens. Sergeant Jake Brennan steps out. My son, in full uniform, sergeant stripes on his sleeve. He's the supervising sergeant for this shift. He rides along in the patrol car with his officers. Must have heard the address on the radio and recognized it. He walks up the driveway, takes his time, looks at the 2 officers, looks at Carol, then looks at me. He doesn't say, sir, step outside, or put your hands up. He walks past the officers, walks right up to me, and hugs me. Hey Dad, he says, is she bothering you? The look on Carol's face, I wish I had a camera. Her mouth opens, closes, opens again. No sound comes out. Jake steps back, looks at the officers. What's going on? First officer, domestic dispute call, Sarge. The woman claims she lives here and wants access to retrieve belongings. Jake looks at me. Does she live here? Not anymore. Evicted her 2 weeks ago. Court ordered. She moved out April 14th. Returned her key. Now she's claiming she left jewelry behind and wants back inside. Jake nods. Turns to Carol. Ma'am, do you have a lease? Carol finally finds her voice. Yes, he's your dad? That's correct. Do you have a current lease for this property? No, but did you move out? He forced me. Did you return your key? Yes, but then you don't live here and you're currently on private property without permission. That's trespassing. But you can't, this isn't. Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to leave the property. Your father he's abusive. He kept me from making basic improvements. He isolated me. Jake's expression doesn't change. Did he hit you? No, but threaten you? He threatened to kick me out. That's not a threat. That's an eviction notice. Did you receive written notice? Yes. 30 days? Yes. Then everything was done legally. You need to leave. I'm filing a complaint. You're biased. You can't be here. You called the police? We responded, and now I'm telling you to leave before I arrest you for trespassing. Carol looks at the 2 officers. He can't do this. He's related to the suspect. First officer, ma'am, there is no suspect. There's a homeowner, and there's you trespassing. I'm not trespassing. I lived here. Past tense. Lived. You don't anymore. Leave. I want to file a complaint against him, and against you. You're welcome to file a complaint at the station, but right now, you need to leave this property. No. Jake's expression hardens. Ma'am, you have two choices. Leave voluntarily or be removed and charged with trespassing. You can't arrest me. I absolutely can. Carol looks panicked. Looks at me, looks at Jake, looks at the officers. This is corruption, police corruption. You're protecting him because he's your father. I'm enforcing the law. You're trespassing. Leave. I'm not leaving until I get my jewelry. Then you're under arrest. Jake pulls out his handcuffs. Carol backs up. You wouldn't. Wouldn't I? He steps toward her. Wait, I'll leave. I'm leaving. Smart choice. Carol practically runs to her car, gets in, slams the door. Jake walks over, leans down to her window, says something I can't hear. Carol's face goes white. She starts the car, drives off fast enough to leave rubber on the street. Jake comes back to the porch. The two officers are trying not to smile. First officer, sorry about that, Sarge. Not your fault. She call 911, non-emergency line. Figured. Dad, you okay? I'm fine. Want a beer? Can't. On duty, but I'll take a rain check. You got it. Jake looks at the officers. Let's get back to patrol. And can you document this? I want it on record in case she tries something else. Will do, Sarge. They head to their car. Jake lingers. She gonna be a problem? He asks. She might try. She tries anything. Call me direct. Don't go through dispatch. I will. And Dad, maybe don't date anyone for a while. That's the plan. He grins, gets in his car, drives off. I go back to my grill. The chicken's a little overdone, but I'm in such a good mood I don't care. April 22nd. 2 days later, Jake calls. She filed a complaint. Against you? Against me, the department, and you. Alleging police bias, misconduct, and abuse of authority. Christ? It's fine. I recused myself from any future calls involving her. Captain reviewed the body cam footage. Everything was by the book. Complaints going nowhere. Sorry you had to deal with that. Don't be. It was satisfying. I've wanted to tell off one of your girlfriends for years. Funny. I'm serious. She sucked, Dad. I noticed. A little late. Better late than never. April 25th. Carol files a civil suit. She's suing me for $50,000. Claims illegal eviction, theft of personal property, emotional distress, and defamation. Her lawyer serves me papers at my house. I call my own lawyer. Frank Coleman. He handled my divorce back in 2006. Good guy. She have a case, I ask. Not based on what you're telling me. You have the lease? Yes. The notice? Yes. Proof she took her stuff? I have photos of the empty room after she moved out. Time-stamped. Text messages where she confirms she moved out? Several. Then she's got nothing. I'll file a response. This'll get tossed. She's claiming I stole her jewelry. Did you? I don't have any jewelry that isn't mine. Then she'll need to prove it existed and that you took it. She can't. What's this gonna cost me? Few thousand to defend, but we'll countersue for frivolous litigation and legal fees. Do it. Frank files the response. Weeks go by, discovery, paperwork, back and forth. July 18th, first hearing. 3 months after she filed. Carol shows up with Jennifer Hartley. I show up with Frank. Judge reviews the complaint. Reviews my response. Looks at Carol. Miss Reynolds, you claim illegal eviction, but the defendant provided 30 days written notice and you vacated on the specified date. Where's the illegal eviction? Jennifer. Your Honor, my client wasn't given adequate time to secure alternative housing. 30 days is the legal requirement for month-to-month tenancy. What more did she need? She was under extreme emotional distress. That's not a legal basis for extending an eviction notice. What about the theft claim? My client's jewelry was left behind and the defendant refused to return it. Judge looks at me. Mr. Brennan, do you have any jewelry belonging to Miss Reynolds? No, Your Honor. Did she leave jewelry behind? No, Your Honor, she packed everything. I have photos of the empty room. Frank hands the photos to the judge. Timestamps visible. April 14th, 3:47 p.m. Empty closet. Empty drawers. Empty surfaces. Judge looks at Carol. These photos show an empty room on the day you moved out. Where's the jewelry? He took it before the photos. Do you have proof? It's my word against his. That's not proof. Motion for theft dismissed. What about defamation? Jennifer. My client's reputation has been damaged by Mr. Brennan's false statements to the police. What false statements? That she was trespassing, that she was harassing him, that she abandoned property. Your Honor, those aren't false statements. She was trespassing. She had no legal right to be on the property after vacating. She was harassing him. She came back 6 days later demanding entry, and she did abandon property if any was left, which the photos prove there wasn't. Agreed. Nothing here rises to defamation. Motion dismissed. Jennifer looks panicked. Your Honor, my client has suffered tremendous emotional distress. Emotional distress requires proof of severe psychological harm. Do you have documentation? We have her testimony. Testimony isn't documentation. Medical records? Psychiatric evaluation? We're preparing. Then come back when you have evidence. All claims dismissed without prejudice. Miss Reynolds, you're free to refile with actual evidence, but I warn you, if you bring another frivolous suit, you'll be liable for the defendant's legal fees. We're done here. Gavel. Over. Carol looks devastated. Jennifer's whispering to her. They leave without looking at me. Frank, told you she had nothing. Thanks for this. Send me an invoice for my time. $2,000 should cover it. I write him a check. We shake hands. I go home. Crack a beer. Life is good. May 28th. Carol files a police report. Claims I stole $30,000 worth of jewelry. Jake calls me. She filed a theft report. For jewelry that doesn't exist. I know. She's claiming diamond earrings, a pearl necklace, and a Rolex. I've never seen her with any of that. Investigating officer is Detective Morrison. He'll want to talk to you, but not for a few days. They need to review her statement first. When? Probably early next week. I'll be ready. June 2nd, 4 days later. Police station. Detective Morrison, mid-40s, tired eyes. Mr. Brennan, you know why you're here. Carol filed a false report. That's your position? That's the truth. She's claiming you have jewelry belonging to her, valued at $30,000. I don't have any jewelry that's not mine. Mind if we take a look? At my house. You need a warrant for that. Or you could consent to a search. I think about it. What happens if I say no? We apply for a warrant based on her statement. And if you get the warrant and find nothing, then we know she filed a false report. And she gets charged? Potentially. Then yes. Come search. Bring Jake if you want. He knows where I live. Detective Morrison smiles slightly. Sarge Brennan has recused himself from anything involving you two. Smart. When do you want to search? How's now? Works for me. We drive to my house in separate cars. Morrison brings another detective, young guy. Barnes. They search for 2 hours. Bedroom, closets, drawers, garage, attic, basement. They find nothing, because there's nothing to find. Morrison. Mr. Brennan, we're done. No jewelry found, because it never existed. That's my assessment. So what happens to Carol? I'll be filing charges for filing a false police report. That's a misdemeanor, up to a year in jail and a fine. She won't do time. Probably not, but she'll have a record, and she'll pay a fine. Good enough. They leave. I call Jake. They search the house? He asks. Yep, found nothing. Good. Morrison's filing charges against her. Even better. Thanks for staying out of it. Had to, but I'm glad this is wrapping up. Me too. June 20th, Carol's arraigned on the false report charge. She pleads not guilty. Trial set for late August. I don't go to the arraignment. Don't need to. August 26th, trial. I'm called as a witness. I testify. Carol moved out April 14th. Packed everything, returned her key, no jewelry was left behind. I have photos proving the room was empty. Defense tries to make me look bad. Asks if I forced her to leave. I explain the legal eviction process. Asks if I took anything from her. I say no. Asks if I prevented her from retrieving her property. I say she retrieved everything on moving day. Jury deliberates 90 minutes. Guilty. Carol's fined $1,500 and given probation. She cries. Jennifer consoles her. They leave. I go home. Done. September 3rd. Carol contacts me via email. Her lawyer told her not to, probably, but she does anyway. Subject, I'm sorry. Body, Michael, I'm sorry for everything. I made mistakes. I let my emotions control me. I was hurt and I lashed out. I never should have filed those reports. I never should have sued you. I was wrong. I hope you can forgive me, Carol. I don't respond. September 20th. Jake calls. She contacted you yet? Email. Apology. Don't respond. I didn't. Good. She's bad news. Stay away. That's the plan. Dad, I mean it. She's manipulative. She'll try to get back in your good graces. Not happening. I've seen this before. People like her don't change. I know. Okay. Just checking. You coming to Sarah's soccer game Saturday? Wouldn't miss it. See you there. October 1st, 6 months since Carol moved out. House is peaceful. I've repainted her old room, turned it back into a proper guest room for when the grandkids visit. Dating? No, not interested. Jake's right, I need a break. But here's what I learned. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Carol showed me she was entitled and manipulative. I ignored it because I was lonely. Won't make that mistake again. The house is mine, paid off, quiet, exactly how I like it. And if I ever do date again, they're not moving in. Not for a year, maybe two, maybe never. Best $400 a month rent I ever charged, because it exposed exactly who she was before I made the mistake of actually committing to her. Sometimes things work out.